Okay, this is the official recording of this class. If you have not drawn this still life yet, you're going to start by doing that with this picture on the right. Starting with the teacup in the front, going over to the honey pot, which is also in front, and then adding in the pitcher last. And you're going to be using perspective, you're going to be establishing your first distances using this teacup. So you can kind of randomly assign a vertical distance, but then you want your vertical distance to be related to your width of your teacup. And you'll notice if you go up one level, right, of the teacup, you take the teacup, you go up one level, that's the same as the top of the pitcher. So you're going to use this teacup to establish all your other distances. Okay, Natalia, are you unable to send things?
I tried sending. I think it went through, but
let me see. Oh, yep, I see it.
Be on the thread.
It looks great. So are you
It took.
So your burnt sienna looks redder than mine. That's okay. It's fine. It just looks different. Maybe that's just the picture. All right. So we're still using Gamsol or water. And now we're going to go to the lighter area, the sort of medium and lighter areas. So things like those blicks, those white blicks on the top, right? We don't have to worry about those right now. We can add those in later. These look great, by the way. So I am kind of pulling off some of the, I still have Gamsol on my brush, but you see I have a lighter version. I could go a little darker than that. I want a lot of Gamsol because I want it to dry fairly quickly. So I want the area that's like lighter to actually be lighter in color. And I do that by either using more Gamsol or more water. Let me see what's happening with that. And I don't have to worry about the blicks, the little white blicks, because I can get those in later. Now, if I feel like I want to add one in, I can actually take a little cloth and pull it out once I get it in there. You really want these lights to appear light next to your darks. So if you're not seeing much difference, and then you'll want to use this kind of light, gosh, maybe even lighter. Hold on. I'm getting more. There is a dark and a light side of this cup. You'll notice that cup is kind of dark on the outside. And then it's a dark on the right side of the inside. But notice it's not dark the way the other areas are dark. It's kind of more of a medium dark. Like this. Right? And then I'm going to use even, darn it, I've got a hair there. And then I'm going to use even, actually, I'll just take some of my, the water and the paint that's on my brush, the liquid and the paint that's on my brush. I'll put it on and then I'll pull it off, because this side is lighter than this side of the inside of the cup. I don't know if you can see that. I'll stand up and point it out in just a minute. And then I'm going to get some of this color everywhere. Notice I'm kind of blending in. I can get a little bit darker, not super dark, but a little bit darker. I still want the darkest areas that I've done to be dark. And then I'll take a look at that in just a second, Jean. I'm just finishing this off, and then I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do a kind of light wash for the background. So what we want is to get paint all over the canvas on this first layer. We're kind of loosely paying attention to values. You're either using water. So voila, wait, and I want this to be just a little bit trying to make this cup just a little bit darker on the dark side. I might go in with my, and it's darker here on the outside on this side too. The lightest area of this cup is this inside section right here, that little crescent. It's hard to make that show here. There we go. This is a very loose, rough beginning. It's kind of nice because you don't have to be so perfect. And then sometimes you just get it right. Because you're not worried about it, you actually are more likely to get it right. So here, I'm going to send a picture of this so you guys can see it. I mean, look at it. It's kind of beautiful right there. I guess that's the watercolor effect. Okay. So let's see. One, two. Okay, so the first thing, Jean, is that the height of this.
Everything's a disaster.
Yeah.
I can't get this.
Well, this is why you're here. This is why, this is the thing that's hard for you. So this is why you're here. So the first thing to notice.
Drawing on the canvas, it's like makes such a mess.
Well, it's all right.
And I feel the same way. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like painting is so much easier than drawing.
She's going to struggle with this. Well, if you want to, you can do this as a, nah, I think it's going to be hard for you to translate that to the brush. The first thing to notice is, okay, so if this is this distance, so notice here, if this cup is this distance high, it's about 1.5 things wide. So right now, your cup's height and the width are the same. The second thing,
But
yeah. So you need to make this cup, if your cup is going to be, maybe the easiest thing to do is to make your cup a little shorter on the bottom.
okay.
So start with that. The second thing is you have everything coming to a point here. In fact, this is like, I'll see if I can sketch it in. This is like a little, it's like a line. It's not, things don't come up to a point. It's like,
No.
yeah. So there's that. The third thing is that this distance from here to here is the same as the distance from the lip of the cup to the bottom.
Which distance?
The distance from the mouth of the cup is the same, right? From here to here is the same as the distance from here to here for the body of the cup.
Okay.
So work on that, and then you're going to erase the honey jar. We're going to start over again.
Yeah.
Once you get that, you can get the honey jar. That's okay. This took 3 hours. This took everybody 3 hours last time. So don't in any way feel, right, Nina? Like you did this, right, Natalia? This took a long time. So go ahead, and girls who are painting, take a picture. Oh, but the eyes, Marianne. The eyes, you got it. The eyes,
Really?
you got it. Yes, just
I
keep
think
going.
her left eye, I just need to kind of make it not as wide.
Yeah, slightly in. Yes, you're right. Bring the lid down a little bit, but the feeling, yes, bring the lid down just a touch, but get the nose and the mouth in before you do much more correction to the eyes. I don't think you need as much as you think.
I'm also trying to just,
Beautiful.
It's really,
oh, thank you. I'm trying to just simplify this
I
first
see
layer
it.
of
I see
paint
it.
because now, okay, so now I have everything mixed.
She's going to cry when you give it to her. Like, this is really
Oh
hard.
no, she doesn't cry.
I know. If she cried, she would.
I'll probably cry.
You're going to cry.
Marianne, I keep wondering if maybe she'll be more emotional now that she's doing hormones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
Aren't we all more
Totally.
emotional since we're doing
Yes,
hormones?
yes,
That's why I keep wondering
yes.
if she'll,
This is so wonderful.
express more anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
You keep
Um,
saying honey pot, and the puppy's name is Honey, and
Oh.
so
Honey pot.
Hi, honey pot.
Hi, honey.
yeah, she wants me to
Anyway,
play with
but
her.
regardless of the
Look at
absolute,
Bubbles.
oh, Bubbles, the absolute, I have to say though, Marianne, although you erased out the nose and the mouth, the eyes feel to me like Gina, and they have a little bit
Yeah.
of that glimpse of naughtiness, that sort of sense of humor.
There's,
That
yeah,
she's got,
this
you
is
got it.
thank you. This is a complicated expression on her face. Like
It really
she's
is.
trying to like look sweet, but also like fuck you, and also like a little bit sad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That kind of sums her up in a
Nina, that looks great. You're in there. You're in it. You're in it. You could go a little bit. So Nina, notice there's not just lights and darks though. So if you wanted to, you could go a little darker with your towel. You're sort of, so I like it that the light background is here. How about going just a touch darker? Not as dark as these dark areas, but a touch darker on your towel. But you're getting it. It's looking good. I think, Nina, you're going to really like acrylic painting after watercolor. It's way more forgivable. Acrylic
I
and
would like
oil
to say
painting.
something. I would like to say that Marianne's palette matches Bubbles.
Oh.
It what?
Your palette matches Bubbles.
Matches
My
her cat.
Oh.
There's a picture, you can see her butt, like right next to my painting on our
Oh
thread.
my God, I love this. I think this might be my favorite class I've taught all week. I have the hardcore people and the jokers.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well,
Doesn't
send
it?
over her picture and I'll do hers like while I still have all this paint.
Oh my God, yes.
Marianne, congrats on your Pochade box. Looks really nice.
It does look lovely.
Thank you. I can't wait to see it.
I'm
I
out
think it
every
arrives
weekend.
tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
So
Okay.
What brand is it? Is it a Sienna?
no, it's a new wave.
Okay,
art.
New Wave is good. They make good palettes too.
Yeah, I watched a lot of reviews and I'm not going to like go hike in the woods and go paint. Like the area where I live, like you can get to lovely scenery, like just you get out of your car and walk from the parking lot 10 feet, so it's okay. Like I'm not worried about like.
How big is it? How big is the box?
I
What
got
size?
the really big one because I'm
Okay.
a messy worker.
So
Let me
what
look here.
size panels does it hold?
It holds huge panels. It can hold like, I don't know what the limit is.
Bubbles. There we go.
And it doesn't have those little clips on the inside of the box, which look like they would annoy the shit out of me. So
No, the Gorilla boxes have that. Yeah,
yeah.
it's awesome.
It is.
Your
Doesn't
tripod will
really
handle the
hold-
weight.
It doesn't hold the paint. What? I think it's only 2 pounds, but I did get the glass palette insert. So that might be more. So we're talking about, I bought a box for plein air, like outdoor painting. So I'm excited. I'll probably just be
come-
using it in the yard, but
Come paint with me and Jean.
Yep, totally.
I'm out every weekend, so anytime you want to come out, I'm always around.
Well, if you want to come out to the Hamptons and
Okay, I won't turn that down.
Eastern Light.
I would love that.
By the way, painters, I'm the ones who are following the still life. I am quietly pulling my palette out and I can't really reach it with my headphones. So I'll be back in a second. I'm just taking them off to get what I need.
Okay.
I'm stepping away 1 sec too.
Okay. Jean, we're gonna do pastels next time, right?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah, I definitely wished I brought my pastels.
Yeah, I haven't brought my pastels outdoors for a couple of years, I think, actually. Like, well, I mean, the cathedral, yeah, but not out in the park. I've been going oily for a while, so I wouldn't mind. I can go dusty. I have a dusty friend, which is always a plus. Jean, you'll be my dusty friend.
I'm always kind of dusty.
Yeah, I'm oily or dusty, kind of both.
I also realized I should have just brought an easel last time. That would have made things easier too.
Or a chair, like a folding chair.
Yeah.
But you did great. I was really proud of you.
Thank you. And I was proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Your stuff's always good.
No, it's not. Really, it's not. I promise you it's not. Oh, shit.
Why is it that the texture of canvas makes paint not go into it all the way, but it somehow holds on to pencil?
Because graphite can migrate through layers of oils. You should seal it. If you have fixative for your pastels,
Uh-huh.
you can spray it over your drawing and then paint in oils on top of that. But
I can't-
graphite, I wouldn't put
Yeah,
graphite.
You know, every mistaken line won't go away before I've even,
You're using graphite?
no, just regular pencil.
That's graphite.
Oh, well,
Yeah, you don't want to put oil paint directly on top of that. You want to put an isolation layer. You could use your pastel fixative on it if you have.
I'm using acrylic paint anyway.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if it migrates through acrylic, but it does. It is known to migrate through oil paint. So it's just something to know.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't think I'll ever have this drawing good enough to want to preserve.
Well, but the thing is if you're painting over it, it might cause you some problems.
Yeah.
Right.
If your graphite is migrating up.
Right. Natalia, by the way, that looks pretty good. However, the only thing I'd like to see is that you make this side of the inside mouth of the cup darker, because you can see the shadow really clearly. So the inside mouth of the cup here on the left needs to be darker. Also, ladies, I just sent over your palette. It's amazing to me how many paintings I make with these like 5 colors or 6 colors. It's sort of ridiculous. And at this point, I am going to stop using, with the oil, I'm going to stop using my Gamsol except to clean my brush. So this will actually dry. So Nina, here's the difference between what's happening with you and what's happening with an oil painter. Your painting is probably almost dry. So you're going to wait till your painting dries and then you're going to layer on colors on top. Our paintings are not exactly drying, although you can see it's still actually wet. Oil does not dry right away, except when you do a thin Gamsol layer like this. So Gamsol is a paint thinner and a stripper, so it will pull paint out and make it dry faster. It's different at different times of the year. I'm noticing it's a little chilly here in the studio today, so it's drying a little faster, like a slower than normal. And so the challenge, let's see. So Jean, soften this edge and extend it out just a little bit more. You're almost there.
Okay.
The bottom is not flat, it's curved.
That's really hard to see in this picture.
It's not about seeing it, it's about knowing that in perspective, that's always true. So that's actually
true,
a
though.
perspective rule that you should know.
It's true.
So
true.
that is a rule that is absolutely true. So even though you think you can't see it, it is there. And you should know that everything that sits rounded on a flat tabletop has a slight curve on either side. Let's see, 1, 2. Okay, so that's good. And the other thing you can do, you have your cup kind of going at a point like this. I would do a straight line down and then over, because it kind of comes out and it allows the body to be a little bit
Yes, because it's from
fatter.
behind.
Exactly.
It's from behind. Okay.
Exactly. So you're close, but this is looking pretty good. And I'm just looking here. Yep, that's looking pretty good. Yep. So the size is looking great. And now and I see you adjusted your honey jar. Honey jar is looking not bad, actually. There's a little more space between the jar and the cup than you have. So if you can kind of push the jar a little bit this way, just bring this line down.
The cup into the space.
Yes, yeah, right. So look at the negative space here to help like space out your jar. And then I'm just going to check. Hold on. I'm going to check and see. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay, so 1. Yeah, everything else on the honey jar looks pretty good, lady. You've got it. See, you have all this. You have all this. You're like, it's the piece. It's just putting the pieces together is what we're going to work on. And don't forget the shadows in here. I can see my shadow.
I was going to work on my Gina painting, but I was too frustrated with it, so I thought this would be easier.
Well, this will make you better working. This will help you in your work on the Gina painting, trust me. And then notice, Jean, when you go up to do your cream pitcher, that the top of the cream pitcher is literally 1 cup distance from the lip to the bottom up. So you don't go any higher than that. And then you can kind of put this in the area where you see it connecting with these 2 items. So it's good. This is exactly what you need, actually, for the Gina painting. I am kind of struggling, girls, to get something new. And it's because I have a show that's opening in 4 weeks and I am slammed up against the wall trying to get it ready. So it is possible I might send you something I've already done. And does that really bad? I've got a ton of paintings and several I think would be good for I just don't know if I can make something new right now. I just don't. There's not enough hours in the day. It's a big show. This is a big show. This is for me. I normally think shows are really stupid and I don't like them, but this is actually kind of a big deal for me. So
I'm so proud of you, Leah.
Thank you. It's with my favorite interior designer in town.
Nice.
Oh my God. Look, I'm so dying to get on these guys' roster. All right. So painters, take a look. So by the way, Jean, great work. You're really getting it. Painters, we're going to add Cad Red Light to our palette, Viridian Green, Cad Yellow Medium, a little Burnt Umber, and some Ultramarine Blue. That's how we're going to start. And Nina, you might wonder, oh, I see you've been. Okay, got it. Yeah, you're all good. Burnt umber will work. The thing that happens in an acrylic and an oil painting, Nina is probably the newest here, is that paintings are built in layers. So you can see that this first layer is fairly transparent and fairly flat. I mean, it kind of looks neat, but we have to layer things up. So for paintings to have depth, they need a base, very often done in 1 or 2 colors, not always. But a base painting which really highlights the lights and the darks, so that when I go in with my top layers, my painting has, like, you can see it. We can see some of the white through the canvas here, right? So what I want are layers so that, like, what's showing through is a little bit of warm orange rather than white. that makes things look a little bit flat, less flat and more interesting. You can see this in, God, I really wish you could put that painting across, Marianne. Jessica, there's no way you could take a picture of what you're working on, could you, and send it over?
I'm not going to. I'm sorry. I'm
that's fine.
starting a new series. I'm going to release the whole thing together.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Anyway, you'll see it. One day you'll see how, I like how Marianne is building up the structure of her painting. So once we've got this.
You can invite people to the other chat if they want.
Oh, that's a good point. Let me do that. So if you guys want to see what Marianne's working on right now and how she's layering your paintings, and I would really recommend you do that. I'm going to invite you into this chat right now. Okay. What did you use burnt sienna for your base, Marianne? I see yellow in there. I really like that. What'd you use for your base?
I gave the whole board a wash of yellow ochre, and then I drew in
oh, I can't add anybody because it's not my group, but anyway.
Raw sienna.
That is gorgeous. I love it. It's got so much glow. It's a beautiful painting. Anyway, I could put it in and then take it out again. Nah, let's just leave it.
Sorry.
She'll see it.
Yeah.
She'll totally see it. Okay, so so painters, now I want you to have a cloth. You can either have a rag, like a cut up t-shirt, or a paper towel or something that you can squeeze off your thing. I'm going to stop using I'm going to take my brush, which has been sitting in Gamsol, and kind of squeeze that extra out. Okay. And then here, I knew I have a palette knife here somewhere for oil. Where are you?
No.
Ah, here it is. Okay. Is that an oil? Oh, it's about to be. Nope. This is acrylic. Oil and acrylic don't mix. I use both in my studio, and right now, since I'm doing a show in acrylic and demoing in watercolor and only doing oil once a week, sometimes get my stuff mixed up. Okay, so we are going to start with the shadows on that back picture there. And the shadow is going to be cadmium red with just a little touch of viridian green. Why am I not putting black in there? In fact, you won't see any black on this palette. I'm mixing, see what that happens when I add that green in there? And so if I want it to be darker, because there are parts of that picture that are darker, you can see I can add more green and make it darker. Also notice I have my palette kind of organized with my colors across the top edge. So if I want to get something, right, I want to get a little bit of cadmium red and mix it with my green, I can then create a darker and a lighter version. I can easily do that without muddying up my colors. So I have this kind of dark red version here. I've got this kind of medium dark version here. And I'm going to take, because I like my painting to dry faster, I'm going to take a little bit of this Galkid, which is like it can be linseed oil. I like Galkid because it's fairly non-toxic and it helps things dry faster. It helps oil dry faster. I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm actually literally going to put it on my, where can you see this? I'm going to put it on my palette.
No.
Here.
There you are.
Right? It's dripping down. Wait, here. You can't really see it. It's dripping down. You can put it in a jar. I'm actually going to put it in my palette. So that if I want a little bit of liquidness to my paint application, I can actually use that. Dang it. Ugh. Right. I can actually use that. So I'm going to take a little bit of I'm still using my thick brush here. There's a reason for that. I'm going to grab a little bit of the Galkid. I want it to get a little darker because I'm going to kind of the darkest layers. I can see that down here. It's darkest. I'm still feeling like it's too red. So I'm going in with a lot of green here to really, it's not that I want it to look green, I want it to look darker. Okay. So this is like kind of a really dark area. This area here is pretty dark. Yeah. And then this part of the shadow, so it still has green, but I've got more red in it, is lighter. So I'm adding red in to lighten. And I'm kind of filling out here. Is there any more shadow? Yes, there's a shadow kind of comes up like this. So this is the shadow part of the main part of this jug. It really comes over to here. So I want there to be a lighter and a darker shadow. So everything has green in it. All of the reds have green in it. But this area is a little bit darker. And once I do that, I'm going to do what's called a soft edge. So I'm going to blend my light edge over so that I don't see a strong line, but I do see a transition going from light to dark. So that often means going kind of vertically. So I have a fair amount of paint on my brush. I don't want to lose my dark. I might have lost it a little bit, so I'll go back in, add it back in. But I don't want a really hard line like this. I don't want that hard line to be there. There is a transition, but it's not so hard. It's softer. So the key for me is to keep, and at this point, I'm not really putting any liquid at all. I'm really coming to the edge where the light meets the dark, and I'm almost tapping light. So that's like, this is like, I have said this in acrylic painting. This is like the knit and there are like two basic mark making techniques that you have in painting. There are hard lines, there are hard edges, and there are soft ones. And like knitting and purling, right? If you know how to knit or purl, there's like basically two major things. And then there's what you do with them is different. Soft edges have these soft transitions. So they require a kind of tapping. It's like doing a cloud. So what I want, because you can see it in here, I'm going to point it out to you on the actual still life while you guys are working here. Hold on, you stay there. Oh, I see, I lost my tape. I'm going to point it out to you right here. Can you see it? There's this dark, and then there's that dark. This is not all the same dark. There is a dark, and then there's a really dark. There's a 4, there's a 5. This is mostly 5. Actually, a lot of the handle is 5, and this edge is also 5. In between is a light red, is a red with no shadow. So we will do that differently. I'll show you how in a second. And you'll notice it'll be easier to do it with a brush that's kind of big. Once you've done that, I need one more computer. That's what I really need. I need, all right. I'm going to clean my brush out. I'm actually going to dip it in my water or my Gamsol, whatever you're using. I'm going to squeeze it out so that I get all that paint off. And then I can go in here with just the basic cadmium red light and add that in. Now, if I feel like my cadmium red, which I kind of am, is feeling a little bit too dark, I'm going to add a touch of not white. You'll notice I don't even have white on my palette right now. If I add white to that, it's going to have yellow. If I add white to that, it's going to flatten, because white is a cooling color. And so it's going to take away the warmth of my red. So I'm going to add yellow to lighten, make it kind of a little bit more orangey. I'm ignoring right now the white spots because I can add those in later. And then there's a little bit of a bright orange red up here. And I'm going to do the same thing from my light into my shadow. I'm going to take a little bit of the light red, soften the edge. So notice on this softening edges, I'm doing more of a tapping motion. Oh yeah, still too dark. So I'm actually going right in with my yellow. What I really have to do is go in and darken a little bit more. Let's see if I can get this brighter and lighter. Now, because I'm working with oil, I can kind of continually bring in color here to a certain point and mix it. So I'm just loading up the brush with yellow. And I'm blending it over so that once again, there is this transition from light to dark. Now, those who are using acrylic are going to be able to pretty easily, still looking, listen, it's looking duller than it actually is. I can tell you that right now. I'm struggling to get my lighting in place. I'll take pictures so you can see it. But really, this is about transitions. So at varying points, I think when we started watercolor, we did a thing where we painted spheres. This is the same thing. There is a transition from light to dark. In fact, what I can really see is I'm going to go back in with some green and blend it right in with my red so I can get that darker. See how I can get that darker by adding more green right into my red. Now, once again, I can do that because I'm working with oil. If you're working with acrylic, you're going to have to mix a darker green red and add it in. Whoops. And I need to push it up a little bit. So sometimes it's about, yeah, there we go. Sometimes it's kind of about what you can, what like getting your, sometimes you add in your dark, you have to adjust your colors as you put in the colors next to it. That's all. That is all. Now, this is a harder edge. Like I can definitely, the shadow edge here is a little bit harder, but it's not fully hard. It's kind of half hard. I am also at a point where I feel like I need a smaller brush, slightly smaller brush. Give me a second. I'll show you what I'm going to switch to. I think I'm going to go to a brush like this. So if you compare my new brush to my old brush, my new brush is about half the size. See that? So I want a brush. I'm not really interested in you could use a pointy brush if you want to. I don't mean to be a brush Nazi, but can be helpful.
Well, while you're between brushes, can you look at my drawing real quickly?
Oh, absolutely. Shoot, what did I do with my phone? Hang on. Oh, there it is. We have a little bit of jerry rigging going on here, I will confess. Oh yeah, Jean, great. The cut, I feel like, hold on, one more thing. I think the picture is a little fat. Let me double check.
He is a little fat.
So I'm just using my width here. So the width from here to here should be much wider. Oh yeah. Yeah, you need to, this is smaller. You've got the height right, but the width here should be about this distance from here to here.
Okay.
From the top and bottom of the cup, right? And why is that? Why is that happening?
Because I'm trying to put in the roundness that I see.
Well, you're making the curve, but why is this smaller?
Because it's farther back.
Exactly. So it's always going to be further back than you think. They're probably closer to the same size if you put them next to each other, but because this picture is further back, it's smaller than you think it is. You got it, baby. This is awesome. You might actually be able to jump in and start painting this sucker. So Nina, one of the things that you were asking the other day is, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember to look at the chat too. It would also be good. No, it is not the same. Primary red is not the same. If that's what you've got, that's what you've got, but you want a very orangey red. What I would say, Nina, is can you put your questions across the WhatsApp thread? Because I'm much more likely to look at that. I'll try to remember to look at TikTok, at the chat function, but I don't always see it. So if you can send a question across the thread, then it's easier. Also, I can look at if you take a picture of it, I can look at it. And then I can see very specifically. But no, primary red is generally, that's an annoying color. Shouldn't really exist. So with my smaller brush, I'm just going to go back to, you'll see there's kind of a, yeah, let me see. Oh, that looks great, Nina. So Nina, don't preserve the white, cover it up. Cover it up. You're going to cover up that white spot. We're going to add it later. So that's where your watercolor training is going to mess with your head because, but that's beautiful. The blending is really nice. Yeah, cover up the white. You don't need it, but I know why you're doing it. Totally no. I mean, there's no yes, you'll see. So you'll see there's kind of a dark, trying to get this to stay up. One more second. I really wish you guys could see this. I have supplies spread all over the floor and my phone on my lap and things on anyway, it's hilarious. I feel, and paint all over my knees. And here, hold on. Okay, you're staying here so I can reach you again. Yeah, so what you'll see as we look, but that's, Nina, you're a natural. I knew it, you're a natural painter. It's funny, I think you'll find it easier to draw with painting. And then it's a little bit dark. So I'm using this dark green mixture here. Using the skinny brush. It's kind of dark. And the inside edge of the handle, and I can bring this up here too. The inside edge of the handle is dark. and so is this. This is the shadow that's being cast. And then I'm going to clean off this brush with the darks. I'm going to dip it in the, there. I'm going to dip it in my Gamsol to clean it off so I get the dark paint off. I'm going to squeeze off all the Gamsol, or I can do this with my water as well. And then once again, I'm going to get that light, so the red with the yellow, and I'm going to put that on the top here. So that's a kind of basic layer. Once we're done with that, I'd like to move down to the honey pot. So to me, there you go. Still, let's see, one. So Jean, the picture needs to be thinner this way. Otherwise, thinner this way. It is no wider here than it is tall here. If you measure that here, it's no wider here than it's tall there. And then, good. So you're going to get in this. This is a little bit more of a hard edge. Look at how beautifully these colors kind of sit on top of the bottom layer that we put down. Oh, I should take a picture of this so you guys can see it. Part of my problem is this. There we go. That'll look a little bit better. It's really hard to get colors right on Zoom. I'm trying a lot of different things, but it just doesn't always happen. Oh yeah, see? Yeah, this is much brighter. Actually, as I took that picture, I realized my edge between my light and my dark had to be sharper, softer. So I'm going back in and softening it. I am not yet adding those little white glints. I'm going to wait till my painting dries. So Nina, you'll have just a little while before you can do that, but you're going to work on another area right now. So let's work the dark part of the honey jar first. If you've got burnt sienna, you'll take a little bit of burnt sienna and a touch of ultramarine blue. If you don't have burnt sienna, take burnt umber and a touch of blue. So you want there's a sort of shadowy part here. It's underneath the jar. So there's a part that's of the honey that's liquidy and bright, and there's a part that's kind of dark. So right now we're painting the dark part. Natalia, how's it going for you?
I will send the picture in a sec.
Okay, great. Yes, and I don't mean to go fast here, you know. So here is like dark. So you can see I've got this kind of dark edge. It comes down here. So this is either burnt sienna and ultramarine with a touch of ultramarine blue. You'll see it makes kind of a really warm, almost a black, but it's very warm and pleasing. If you don't have burnt sienna, you can take burnt umber. And if you want to warm it up a little bit, you can add some of your warm red to that mix. There, I think you got it. Hold on. So now, Jean, the only thing you need to do is widen this a little bit by bringing this side a little to the right and tipping a little bit that way. Then you've got it. And then you can just start with a Jean, are you using acrylic, I'm assuming? Are you using acrylic? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you can just get burnt sienna and do I'll resend over the the base so you can see it
Okay.
in the chat. That's amazing, by the
Where
way.
is it? I can find it.
Oh yeah, don't forget also to do the lights and the darks. So
Yeah,
this,
you can't really see them, but they're done.
yeah,
And-
okay, they're great. That I would say once you get, that was fast, honey. Oh, Natalia, God, you guys, these are wonderful. Marianne and Jessica, take a look at these. Aren't they cool? These little pots of these little, aren't they lovely? They're doing really, you girls are doing great. Okay. So now we've got this kind
Yes,
of,
they look fantastic.
don't they?
God, these are
Yeah.
beautiful.
Aren't they? Such pros. I got pros working with me. They are
I
pros.
like Bubbles' tail.
Yeah, I like Bubbles' tail in there too. That's really cute.
Gee, that's a nice drawing.
She did it. She nailed it.
I always knew she could.
I always know she
But
can
actually,
too.
I think it was Bubbles probably did it.
All right. So we've got ultramarine blue and burnt umber, or ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. And Nina, if you want to drift a little of your primary red into that mix as well to make it warmer, you can. And notice that the dark, I'm going to put it in the darkest areas. And I'm also probably going to put that color in as the cast shadow, right? The shadow around the edge of the jar. I can also probably go in and put that here too. Yep. So satisfying. You know, laying in the darks is like so satisfying. It's like 3/4 of the painting is like pretty much done. It adds a lot. I can even come in here and do this. I can add it in here if I want to kind of help create a separation. Probably won't put it anywhere else right now. Okay. And then I'm gonna, so now I want this kind of shadowy color that's here, but is warmer. So I'm gonna add a little bit of, let's see what happens if I add a little bit of yellow into that mix. I'm pulling yellow and I'm putting that into the blue mix here. It's looking kind of muddy. I don't like it. I'm gonna take it off. I'm probably gonna go to a lighter mix. Go to a different mix for that. I'm gonna say cad red, a touch of blue, cad red, touch of blue, and some yellow. Let's see how that looks. And maybe a touch of burnt sienna. No. Maybe just here. I could see I need to get more yellow. Hang on. Let's try just cad red, yellow, and a touch of burnt sienna or burnt umber. We got burnt sienna. So no darkening agent. Yeah, that's better. So I'm going to say cadmium red, cad yellow, and then just a touch of burnt sienna in here for the light part. It's darker, but it's not as dark as what's happening here. And then a lot of yellow. I'm trying to decide if I want to bring yellow ochre into this mix. And then that mostly yellow with a little bit of the other mix in for the honey here. And then once again, I'm going to be trying to kind of create a soft edge. So I'm kind of blend it up into my dark. I'm going to bring down here into the red a little bit, right, particularly here, making that soft edge up here. And then there's this kind of like muted gray. So that would be, I'm going to experiment with this while you guys do this part. And the brightest parts, once again, we're not doing yet. We're going to lay the brightest parts in later. So don't worry about that really bright yellow spot. Don't worry about that so much. Let's see. This may be the point where we'll need a little white. So remember how I told you white kind of dulls things down. This part of the honey jar is kind of a dull, this top part is kind of a dull brown. So I'm going to suggest burnt umber or burnt sienna, a touch of blue, and then we're going to add white to it. And if it looks too brown, you're going to add more blue until you have this kind of grayish brown color. Oh, yep, more white. And the white will be used to lighten it. Yeah, I might add a little bit of red to make it not quite so ugly, but it is really, nothing wants to stay up today, a kind of dullish color. It's funny, I've got the still life in front of me, but I can't really see it because my laptop is in the way. So I'm looking at the still life exactly like you guys are on the laptop. It's weird. Lights and brights are going to be added. Although if I wanted to, I could take a little bit more white and and a little bit more blue and kind of lighten up here because that's a little bit lighter. Yeah, that'll work. I haven't really done the bright. I've just kind of done this sort of top edge. And then I can go back to sort of burnt umber or burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. And then the cap, I can do the dark parts of the cap. So the cap is kind of dark here. And then it kind of curves up and is dark here. And then there's a couple of funky, nope, that's too dark, too crazy. Pull that off. The cap is kind of like a yellowish white, but I'm going to mix in a touch of this gray that I mixed for the jar here. Yeah. And then it's kind of like a yellow here. These are just the bases. This is just, once again, we haven't got everything. I don't think I exactly have that cap right. And actually to fix that, I am going to add a little bit of the background in. So I'm cleaning my brush out again. And I'm adding a little ultramarine blue with a touch of yellow. And then I'm adding some white to it. Although I don't like that color that it mixed very much. I might pull out some phthalo blue. So, okay, so I'm now adding another blue to the palette. Hang on.
Marianne, that's wonderful.
There we go.
Is it too pink? Feels too pink.
What's that?
A little, but that's okay.
Right. I've just added phthalo blue to my palette. Here you go. It's over here in the corner. So when I add a little white to phthalo blue, I get a much more satisfying, pretty blue. And I can actually come in here and kind of use this to cut in my, it's really just blue and white I'm mixing. I don't have to get it everywhere, but I can kind of bring it in around my jar. There's always a point in your painting where it's going to be helpful to get your background in. Some of it just to, and I know this isn't exactly the color, but I'm actually not a fan of what is there. So I'm like, I want something prettier. Oh, wait, nope, that should be red. So don't make the mistake I made. I covered up part of my red, what should have been my red jar, with blue. There we go. Yep, there's only a little bit of blue there. And you see how I like carved in my jar lid so it wasn't sticking out so much? So this is a great, it's always about like 2/3 of the way through. You're like, and we're not really going to deal with it so much on this side because we have this, we haven't really worked on this cup very much yet, but totally you could add blue in kind of here. So when I said, so in this case, the white is not flattening. Probably the better way to say this about white is that not that it's flattening, but that it's cooling. And if you're wanting, it will flatten a warm color because it'll make a warm color look flat, but it'll make a cool color look really vibrant like this one. I know that there's a bit of a shadow in here, so I can go back in with brown here, kind of create that shadow. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Natalia, what you're probably noticing is that it's easy to get one color into another because you're working with oil and nothing's drying very fast. That's actually not the worst thing that could happen to you. Because like there should be little bits of this orange in this blue because they're reflected off of each other. So it's okay, like just sort of accidentally as you're working around.
Okay.
Yeah. Now notice I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just doing this little bit. Now I'm going to stop, and I want you guys to here sort of finish that honey jar to the point that we can right now.
Could you repeat the gray mix, the one for the jar?
What's that?
Could
I missed
you
that.
repeat the gray
Oh, the gray
color,
part?
mix?
That
Yeah.
is burnt sienna, burnt umber, or ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and white. So the white is what kind of makes it gray. And I just put, and a little bit more on the blue side. So I tended to put a little bit more blue up here in the jar part. A little bit more brown down here. We're going to add in more of the details of the, the top part of the honey on our next layer. And I noticed as I sent this over to you, I had kind of cut out. Notice how easy it is to kind of cut your shape out as you lay your paint in. Notice how easy it is for your paintbrush to kind of drift over. So be cognizant of that. Mm-hmm. I can see I need to get lighter here. There we go. Okay. Let me look, Marianne. I'm going to look at the source. So Marianne, just remember that less is more with the nostrils of the nose.
Okay.
Just remember, it's just that teeny tiny speck. So make the nostrils, it's really more sort of like a mid-tone skin that we're seeing and not that dark of the nostril. There's only a tiny little point that's dark.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can minimize that. Nice. I just love the eyes though. It is a really complicated, here, hold on, And Jean, where are you in this process? I'm assuming you're zooming up and catching up with us.
Yes, I'm looking for colors for my palette. I'll show you what I've done.
Okay. Yes, please. I'm really proud of you guys, by the way. This is awesome. The next thing I'm going to have you do, okay, great. Looks wonderful. Wonderful. You can go darker, Jean.
Yeah, I got too much water in it.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so you're just waiting a minute. It's great. The next thing you're going to do, next assignment you're going to do is set up your own still life. And I'm going to talk you, it's going to be interesting because each of you is going to have a different still life. You're going to need to set it up for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, right? You'll probably at least 2 weeks. And you'll need to set it up in the same place each time. And then you're going to need to photograph it the way you're sitting and looking at it each time. So, there's going to be setup there, but I think it's going to be really valuable for you to go. I think you're absolutely showing that you're ready to start working from life. This will be the next thing. So I'll be doing less of a painting demo and more of a walking you through each one of your still lifes. Also, those who are working in oil, we may only be able to go so far with this one today. We'll see. We often have to wait till next week. Those who are working in acrylic can continue working because your paint will dry fast. And we have we have a whole hour and a half left in class, so we're doing great. Yeah, Jean, you may be too tired to work on your Gina piece today, but this will help you with your Gina piece for tomorrow. Oh my God.
Jean, let's like be on Zoom for this.
Okay.
If not, I can totally like log into Zoom.
Yes, you all should
like-
just be on Zoom.
So,
Are you available tomorrow evening?
Yep.
Okay, I'll set the Zoom for us.
sorry, what?
I can set up a Zoom for us tomorrow night.
Great.
Oh, give me 1 second. I shall be right back. I need to get one thing.
Gina, you fucking chameleon.
And she had the nerve to bitch about Michaela Cole's cheekbones.
Oh wait, what did I do with my pen? Hold on. Okay.
Leah,
Yes.
what was the red that you did for the picture there?
Cad red light.
Cad red with a little blue in it?
Green.
Green. Okay.
Cad, so the dark part is cad red and viridian green.
Mhm.
And the light part is cad red with a little bit of cad yellow to lighten it. Nina, this would be a good class for you to be able to, besides working on this painting, to be able to, sorry, I have my mic up. This would be a good class for you to be able to work on other things as well as your, because, you know, we have an hour and a half left. We may only work on this painting for another half hour or so, then leave the rest till next week. We'll see how it goes. And then you can have another project to work on. So if you were wondering like how to add that into your routine, this is a great class to do it in because it's 3 hours. Technically, it's really too long for a Zoom class, but this particular Zoom class where we're working on weightier, bigger projects, I think it's a really appropriate. And when you guys are finished working on this, we'll work on, I think we might have time to work on the cup. By the way, my new kids class is going really, really well. We have a little girl from London, one from Berlin, one from South Africa, and one from Cleveland.
Jeez.
Right.
All these exotic places and then
Cleveland.
I'm sorry, that's
They
funny.
are so
I'm
cute.
terrible.
Right. If you know anybody who has little kids between the ages of like 6 and 11, I would say the class only costs $10. And my teacher is just doing a really great job. Emma, who is one of my former students, is just doing an amazing job. So she's a great teacher. I have molded her. I've taught her since she was 12. Now she's 19. I keep hearing the words coming out of her mouth and laughing because I'm like, oh my God, I totally taught her how to say that. And I think it's great, which just means I don't really worry about what she's saying. Like it's similar to what I would taught her, but it's interesting to hear your own, you know, things like taught by somebody else.
What do you want?
Meow,
What?
I'm hungry.
What? Well, I can't right now. I'm busy. Why don't you ever bother Daya?
Because she knows who the sucker is. Hermes is the same way. Whenever I walk in, like whenever he's driving me crazy, like whenever I'm with him, he's like, meow, 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 play with me, entertain me. I'm so bored. I walk in, finally I get fed up and I give him to Rob in our apartment. And I walk in and he's just like, I'm chill. I'm like, has he been whining? He's like, no.
Yeah.
He only whines with me.
Mhm. Oh, you're up here now. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. I was telling Jean yesterday. This is Isis. She's the one who's talking to us.
Right.
Her favorite place to sleep is in the bathroom, and she's a big fluffy dark tortie, and I actually changed the color of the carpeting in the bathroom because of the cat to make it lighter so you could see the cat because you can't see her. And I don't always turn lights on when I go into rooms. So if it's like dark in the bathroom and I go in there, I can't see the cat and I step
Right.
on her and she doesn't move, but she gets mad and like claws me up.
Mhm.
And also I don't want to step on my cat.
Right.
So I got new carpeting just
The cat.
to be able to see the cat.
Right.
And she sleeps up against the bathtub, or she sleeps, which is fine. That's not in the way, or she sleeps in front of the sink, which is a
Uh-huh.
little bit more problematic because she doesn't move. Like even
Right.
if you get her wet, she won't move. But now she has a new spot, which is very problematic because she's literally right in front of the toilet.
Huh.
And she's big and she doesn't move.
Okay. Now I need to
So I have
jump
an
in and
issue.
give Nina some instruction here. Hang on a second.
Yep.
Okay, so Nina, the first thing I'm going to tell you is you need to get some cadmium red into your art supply list. And the second thing I'm going to tell you is I think you have lost your cup in your shadows because we now have a pointed, which is easy to do, right? You kind of overpainted. And so we've lost, there isn't do you see how you have this kind of pointy thing happening here when really, so you've lost the cup shape. Also this shape, so it's funny, Nina, you apply paint beautifully, but I can see why your teachers are telling you your drawing is the problem because you have cut across. You see how you've got this sitting? You've got this honey jar sitting straight horizontally across like this, and actually it's kind of a diagonal line up like that. Just like yesterday when we were drawing cubes. This is like a cube, a variation on the cube. This line, so there's a straight line down the middle that's going straight down, and then this is going up a little bit, and then this is going up a little bit. So I think you kind of lost that as you started to cover it. However, I love what's happening kind of with the jar lid up here, but notice that and it's easy to do it, right? It's easy to go in the lines. So, and also I feel like you also lost the light of your picture. I feel like your picture is now all dark, like you brought dark all the way up here. And really everything here, between here and here, everything is light with no shadow in it. So what you need is red with perhaps a little bit of yellow in here on top. And then you're going to need to mix some more of the red shadow color so that you can wet the shadow part and blend the edge down here. So that's my recommendation. We'll start working on the cup in just a minute, but I really like some of the things happening with the honey jar. I do. I think I think like, I just think it's weird. The brush is this very natural thing for you. Oh, Natalia, very nice. That's it. Yes. So you see what I mean, Nina, like in between here, there's a little bit. Anyway, don't worry. We're going to go back in. We're going to start working on the cup right now. So the cup is white. You don't have to write psycho if you don't want to. This is one of my favorite teacups. It sits in my house. But it's not white, right? Like the only really white part is this area here. I have to get all this off. Hold on. Give me just a second. So if this white isn't white, what is it? It's kind of a gray. It's actually totally a gray. So we're going to mix. And if you remember, we get grays by mixing the complements together and adding white to them. So to me, we're going to test a couple different grays. Right now, I'm cleaning out my smaller brush, my smaller flat brush, so that I get as much of that paint off as I can. I'm going to try a couple of mixes. I'm going to try, let's see. I'm going to try, you could try burnt sienna or burnt umber and ultramarine blue. Oops, sorry, you can't see that because I'm running out of room here. Let me wipe these off. I'll come up a little bit. This is burnt sienna, ultramarine blue. And then I'm going to add a little white and see what happens. See what that kind of gray looks like. It's kind of a bluey gray. I like it. It's pretty. So burnt sienna and or burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and then white creates that first gray that we've got there. But how about we try let's see, hold on. Okay. All right, now I've added quinacridone red, which is a cool red, to my palette, and a little bit more yellow because I was running out. And I'm going to try quinacridone red. Here, get rid of that. Quinacridone red, ultramarine blue, so I have a purple. And then I'm going to pull in a little bit of that yellow. I really should have yellow ochre in here, but I'm kind of resisting doing it. I don't know why. And then white. Now, if you can see, if my gray, so this is kind of a warmer gray. I kind of prefer this gray for the, but you have a choice. So what I'm doing in all cases is mixing complements, right? I'm doing in all cases, I'm mixing complements, and I'm mixing grays. If I want to make it a little bit bluer, I can bring more blue into this mix. That made it a lot bluer. You have choices. You can also try Viridian green and red, any red. So all of those will make with white. All of those will make gray. Okay, so that's obviously I have too much red there, so I need to pull more green in to get it to look more grayish, and then more white. The red is really overpowering. Anyway, So you can see these different grays. So this is fairly dark. This is like, I'd say a 2.5. This from like here over to here. Here, I'll sketch it out in a kind of light. From like here to here is the darkest part of the cup. From here to here. And then this part is dark, but a little bit lighter. It's a little bit lighter. So maybe this is a 2.5 and this is a 2. And this is just going to be a white. We're going to put a white on top of it. And this is going to be like a 2 as well. So these two areas are going to be a 2 gray. And this is going to be just white. And this is going to be like a 2.5 gray. So you get to pick the gray you like. I personally am digging, oops, the complement mixture with purple and yellow. So I'm taking some of that. If it looks too purple, I'm going to add more yellow and a touch more blue and white. I need enough white to make it kind of a 2 or 3. I don't want it to look like particularly any color, right? I don't want it to look particularly purple or particularly blue or particularly brown. So if it's not looking gray, then you need to keep mixing your more colors in until you get the right mix. So this is like the darkest part of the cup. Maybe it's even a little darker. So I'm adding a little bit more of the blue, a little bit more of the burnt sienna. Getting just a bit darker. Okay. Actually, really needs to be even darker. So I'm going in with blue and brown. Notice with oil, I can really do this. I can really just keep mixing my colors because they don't dry right away. If you're working with acrylic, it's going to dry right away. So the technique will be a little bit different. And then I'm going to add more white so that it's lighter. It's still gray, but it's a lighter gray in here. And I'm going to do the same thing kind of down here. And then I might even imbue in a little bit of yellow into this particular gray because it's got a kind of glow in it. So I'm actually blending in some yellow in here. And then once again, I'm working my edges. So nothing is hard. It's all kind of a soft edge. Well, this is hard, actually. This will be a hard edge. And then this is going to be white. If I put white on white, that'd be really boring. But because I already have a little bit of paint on the bottom here, that's going to look really nice. Once again, I'm going to want a soft edge here. This light area is going to kind of come. If you're starting to feel like, okay, I can't really, this is too big a brush, you can switch to a smaller brush now. And then you'll see there's kind of a little light area here that I can see. And actually, yeah, this is a great point. Give me a second. I'm going to grab a smaller brush. So now I'm going to a teenier brush. That's a pretty teeny brush. And I'm going to grab some of the gray that I mixed. I might also take a little bit of my brown gray mix with this teeny brush. And I don't want it to be strong. So see, I'm kind of adding it in here and then blending it with my finger. But I want a slightly more defined edge here. I can take a little bit of white and yellow and come in over here where I kind of lost my edge because of all my mucking around and add in a little bit of white or yellow there. And I totally want to put the word psycho in there. So there we go. I'm going to do it.
Do it, Leah. Do it.
Of course you do.
And then notice, I'm going to come in here before I do that. I'm going to come in here and really, with my little brush, I'm going to go back and redarken, right, the shadow that's underneath my cup so that that really shows up. Needs a little bit to be a little bit darker. So I'm mixing blue and brown to get that edge in here. There you go. There's kind of this thing happening here. So fun. All right. And I'm going to, once again, mix blue and brown, which basically just makes a kind of lighter black. Let's see if I can get this in here. I see. I love it. There's this, I have so many of these. There's a woman here who makes these teacups and they say all kinds of things like crazy bitch and namaste motherfuckers and two-bit hoe and later Satan and all kinds of things. And I love them. I just think they're so fun. Now notice as I'm doing this that I can't go very dark because I've already got this light layer. So I'm probably not going to be able to finish this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm using the wrong tool. Need to get a better brush. Give me a moment. Whoops. Sorry, I am not looking. I should be looking right now. Okay, well, Natalia, you're doing great. So we lost her. I'm talking to empty air here. So yeah, we'll just do. Here we are. I may skip it for now. I'm going to actually skip this for now because I just don't feel like I can get the detail that I want. So now we can add in. So Nina, if you're, so here's the trick. If you're, if you lost the side of your cup, you're going to paint over. So if I want to bring if I like bring this blue right too far in like this, I need to go back over. I'm going to wipe a little bit off because this is oil. I go back over with my gray and I can go back right over the top. Right? I can go back over and then I can go back in here and add an edge that's a little bit darker. So I can paint over areas that I kind of painted to, paint that I lost. I can paint over areas, particularly with acrylic, because acrylic dries so fast. You can just wait till it dries and then, but you have to be able to see the actual lines and not be stuck with what you've created for yourself, right? And then my suggestion is you pick what you want as a background color for this top area. I was actually thinking about making it yellow. So I'm going in with my blue over here to help define the edge, my darker blue to help define the edge of my cup. It's actually not too bad. And then every once in a while, I'm dipping in my Gal Kid to give me a little bit more coverage. And yeah, I think I am. I think I'm going to make this, and I might actually take a whole new brush for this, a big brush that doesn't have other colors on it. I guess I just mix, hold on. I'm basically just mixing yellow and white together. And then I can come in around and kind of clean up the edge. Dang it, come on, stay there. I can clean up the edge of this. Am I really into this? I don't know. Next week I might glaze it and add another color on top. But right now this helps me kind of clean up my picture. Now, since we have some people working in acrylic today, you might want to add, after you're done with all of these pieces, we can talk about going to the next steps. I think I'm probably done today. I think this is all I can do. My painting is going to need to dry. So I'm going to take a picture of it where it is right now. And then I'm just going to help you guys with yours. So feel free to
Good, Leah.
ask. Hmm?
Looks good.
And not bad, right? Not too bad.
I think I'm gonna wrap up for today too. So thank you for
We're
having me.
excited to see what you're working on when you're ready to show it.
Me too.
Is it one of those, oh my God, why did I give myself this challenge kind of
No,
thing?
no. I'm gonna do a series throughout May. I'm a little behind on some stuff I've been wanting to do. So
Awesome. Awesome.
oh, I'm gonna drop off. It was great being with you all.
Okay, sweetie,
Thank you
it
so
was
much.
great to be with you too.
All right, ciao.
Yep. So I've got
Bye.
Jean and Nina left and Marianne working on her stuff. Oh, there you go, Marianne. Yep. Starting to get there. Do you see what I'm not nose looking so much better? Oh, lovely.
That was good advice. Thank you. I hate it.
What
doesn't look like-
you've got a ways to go. Get the hair in. The hair is going to help you feel better about the other things. And then you can start, and then I would go in with a small brush and start working some of the mouth nose detail, right? But you're definitely coming along. I know it's at that hateable phase, right?
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Don't worry, you're getting there. You've made progress. Nose is better. Mouth is getting there. Maybe mouth is a little bit too thick right now, but I feel like the face is in much better shape. So
I think I got the tilt of her head wrong, which is like,
let me look. Oh God, yeah, she's kind of tilting it, but that's not that big a deal. You know what I would do, Marianne? Turn the photo upside down and turn the painting upside down. You'll be able to make the corrections much quicker.
okay.
Yeah, turn them upside down. You'll be able, because getting that slant in is not as big a deal as you think.
Really? It doesn't mean I have to start over?
No. You're just going to have to like shift things a little bit. You're working in oil, right?
Yeah.
So it's not even dry. You'll be able to turn it upside down and you'll see what I mean. You'll be able to get the slant of the mouth and the nose without having to redo everything. You're really close. I don't want to see you. You've got it. I mean, it's at the awkward phase, but it's on the way.
It's been in the awkward phase like since I started using paint.
Marianne, I just sent Gina an article where someone was interviewing Elliot Page, and they were talking about how where Elliot is right now is a really awkward phase because she's come out as trans before she's fully transitioned. And
Oh.
so she's kind of not him, not her looking right now. And
Right.
and how interesting that is to how brave of her it is to do that, to come
Yeah.
out while you're in that awkward phase. And Gina was like, yes.
Gee, you think?
And they described it as having a second adolescence. So
Right.
you're just giving expression to that awkward phase she's in.
That is true.
Very generous of you.
Yeah, she's a toughie to get. And in that, there's a very guardedness to that expression
I know.
and
I
a
know.
wanting to feel positive.
But very guarded. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
but
true.
very guarded. But that's just normal. That's just true, right? That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Leah, I just sent over.
Oh, let's see. Well done, Jean.
I like the picture.
I'm really, yeah, botch your teacup up. So now you're going to take your background, Nina, and go back in and carve your teacup and carve your teacup out using your background. So using a dark background color, you're gonna find your teacup again. Let's see. Where am I not seeing this, Jean?
I don't see it either, Jean.
I don't see it. I think you sent it across I'm not seeing it anywhere. Send it again.
Okay.
Oh, look at the fur ball all over her.
It looks better than I thought upside down. Maybe I'll just give it to her upside down. Just be like,
that's coming along, Jean. Really nice. Super nice. Yep. Yep.
What's my next step? The lid of the honey pot?
So yeah, I mean, you have to get the jar too, right? So this is like a grade. This is like burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, and white up here.
Okay.
And then it's burnt sienna up here, and then a little bit of and blue up here, and then it's kind of this yellowy white up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Great.
a little worried I'm not going to finish this in time.
If you don't, you're just going to include a picture of what it is, and then, but oh yeah, so much better. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna.
We can just give her an IOU.
Yeah, so do you see, Marianne, you don't have to do that much. You just need to look at it upside down so you can see the exact slant of the mouth, particularly on the one side, and you can adjust the head just a touch. You've got everything. The eyes, I think, are fine. I have to look to see myself. Yeah, it's really just kind of moving the hair, slanting the upper lip a little bit.
I'm worried her lip is still a little bit too low.
It might be. So let's see, measurement wise. Hold on, I'm going to look at this upside down myself. You sent me a picture where I have both. So I'm going to, how do I turn you? Rotate. Here we go. That's what I want to do. Okay. Rotate.
Here, I'll give you, do you want the one with the grid?
What I want is to see the picture and the painting next to each other, and then I'll turn it upside down. If they're upside down right now, that's great, but I want to see them next to each other so I can tell you for sure.
All right, hold on. Do you use Layout, that Instagram app?
I don't, but it's a great way to do it.
I like it for checking things. I don't have it on my iPad, but
I think that's an Apple. I think that's one of the things that makes Apple better. Nina, one of the things you can do is actually go over with your pencil and try to redraw the cup if you've lost the lines so that you can see them. And then you need to use a brush that's thin enough that you can really control where it goes, right? So you can control it a little bit better. You just kind of lost control of it here and it went outside the lines and now you can't see the lines. So if you need to go back in and draw the lines again with a pencil, you can. That might help. Anyway, the great thing about acrylic is it dries in a few minutes and then you can just paint right over it. That's just looking great, Jean. Really is. Yeah. Yeah. Wait for it to dry. Actually, do you have a hair dryer, Nina? You can take a hair dryer to it.
Stop. Stop. No. Okay, finally. Okay, there you go, Leah.
All right. Let's see. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, thank you. That helps. Okay, so, oh yeah, I see the grid. What a great thing. Yeah, so you see, actually, it's really pretty fine. Just, you're gonna need to adjust. Oops, sorry. Oh no, I can't do that. The right, where the right hairline is and where the hair goes down, you'll adjust, right? And I think everything else is fine. I would get that thin dark line that's kind of on the bottom of her upper lip. Can you see that? It kind of comes in, it kind of goes like this and goes in and over and up. That's a big shaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it kind of on the left edge, but bring that around. That's going to help create that sense of tilt. Yeah, it's in great shape, Marianne. Really, honestly, it's just, I'm going to flash it really quick. You're just going to have to get in there. See that shape? I want you to just look. This dark shape
Oh, yeah, the neck.
Yep. No, the dark next to the neck. That
Oh, the
gets the
shirt,
tilt.
yeah.
The shadow is what shows the tilt. So that's all you really need to do. And then get in the
Oh,
hair.
okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? To get the tilt, that's really the only thing you need. You got it. It's looking way good. Way
Okay,
good.
I'm sorry. Hey, stop it. Stop. Sorry. There. Okay, thank you. I always mess that up, like the tilt of things.
It's hard. Yeah, it's because, but it's easy to fix, which is nice, right? Because it's not like you haven't really messed it up. You've got it in you've got all the things in all the right places.
She is very pink. I'm gonna have to go over it with a little more yellow, I think.
Yeah, that's all right. But the shapes, the mouth is looking good. Eyes are looking good. Nose looks great. You put in the work on the nose. You know, it's a Sisyphean task, right? You just got to take it shape by shape. You can't really think about.
Oh, I can see how the eyes are going to be much easier to paint upside down.
Yep.
Oh my
You'll be
God,
able to see those
so much
shapes.
easier.
Do you
Yeah.
never paint upside down? Do you never paint?
Not really. I mean,
Oh.
I look at things upside down sometimes, but not really. No.
Mm.
I mean, I know it's a thing, and I just like haven't.
It
done
really
it.
helps with solving problems like these.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really helps with solving these problems when you're like, I just can't see it, the tilt, the blah, 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 because it's such a subtle thing. It's very often not what you think. It's like the thing over here, right? Rather than the actual thing that you're looking at.
Yeah.
I think in this case, it's her face really that's the big issue, not it's not her face. It's the shadow on on the left side of her. If you're looking at it upside down on the left side, that's really the thing.
Right.
So it's funny. You think it's one thing, but it isn't really. It's
Yeah. Oh my God.
no, it's really the thing to the right. So looking at it upside down, I'm sorry, I had my mic up. You probably were having a hard time hearing me. So looking at it upside down seems to break those things down more easily for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
To see what all the shapes.
Yeah.
That's the talker you got there.
She's I have a 8-month-old puppy and a 10-year-old, an 8-month-old golden retriever and a 10-year-old Westie.
Huh.
So they could not be more different.
Do they get along?
Yeah, except right now, Edie, the Westie, is like, fuck off. And Honey is like, play with me now. Play with me. So that's what's going on.
Oh my.
Yeah. No. Sorry, she was going near my palette.
That's a big no.
Yeah.
I remember when I first adopted Hermes as a kitten, we have to kind of keep him separated from our older cat because unless he's directly supervised, because he just attacks her. And he was in my studio and he jumped on my palette as a little baby kitten, went skidding across it. Got like purple paints all over him.
An official studio cat now.
He is an official studio cat and he's never done it again. I'll tell you what, he avoids that palette. He really, really does.
And an ex-girlfriend of mine, once, she was a lighting designer and she had just spent hours like working on this lighting plot, all in acrylic paint. And she left the door to the room open where she worked. There were little paw prints all over the apartment and all over the painting.
Well, great.
I'm taking a little break.
Okay, take a stretch break.
Yeah.
You did some really hard work there, Marianne. You did a lot of problem solving. This is a good point to break.
I'm also hungry, but I sent Michelle out for food.
Nice.
So I could also start the arms on the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. But give yourself a break. Take at least a 5-minute break. Get up, walk around.
Yeah.
You know. Let's see.
I sent it over.
Nice. I see it. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, that's coming along, Jean. Jean, bring it all the way down, the gray, all the way down to where the honey starts.
Okay.
All the way down there. Nice.
I like the lid.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I'm really loving as well. This is some gorgeous mark. That's some gorgeous mark making. I like this kind of sweeping mark that's going through, but softening that edge between the light and the dark of the picture. It's really great. It's great, my friend. Great. Oh, so fun. Let's see. Looking. You did better, Nina. Once again, you've kind of lost the shape of this cup. So now, oh, I see. You have the pencil lines in. See, this is why you can't just paint, right? You need to be able to draw.
Guys, I'm gonna go and eat dinner.
Okay,
and
Marianne, this is in great shape though. And if you want to, send me stuff tomorrow when you're working
Okay,
on
I
it
will.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
here to help. So you just
Thank
lean on me.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
You too.
I'll
Yep.
see you tomorrow, Marianne.
Okay.
So is this here your Nina, is this here your pencil line? You see where the cup is not supposed to be, right? It needs a much narrower. You have to re-look at the cup and redraw it. Okay, so you need to redraw that cup the way it actually is and draw into the white paint because you've lost, yeah, there's no line all the way around. You've lost the mouth shape. This is orange and this is sort of red. It shouldn't be red. The cup is way off. You had it and then you lost it. So now you need to spend, now I would say, if you want to, this is either a great time to stop and you can pick this up next week, or if you want to spend about 20 minutes trying to redraw the cup with pencil over your painting, that's what I would do. I would spend the next 20 minutes trying to redraw the actual shape of the cup with a pencil. And then maybe we'll have you correct it next time. Yeah, it seems to me, Nina, that you really take easily to the paintbrush, and the biggest issue you're having, the biggest block for you is not actually using the paintbrush, it's how to draw. And this is, you're going to keep running into this again and again, that if your drawing isn't better, yeah, it's, your painting is great. So it's just getting but your drawing is not great. So, so yeah. Yeah, drawing needs a lot of work. And you had it, the problem is you had it and you lost it. So what I really want you to what we're going to focus on with you next time is making sure that your paintbrush follows your pencil lines once we get it. Also, you need more paint. Yes, it sounds like a plan. So you can either jump off now or stay on. Jean, I'll hang with you until whenever, until it for another 20 minutes. Jean, I want to tell you, you fucking rocked it out of the house today. So I know, like, I'm hard on you right now but that's because I know you can do it.
You know, I'm not,
I know, and you know, like,
really
but I always feel bad because I'm like, nope, turn it back. Like, nope, turn it back. Nope, send it back. But I know you're kidding. But I'm always worried. I don't want you to think in any way. I just think I just think what you're doing is this work that you're doing. I know it feels ucky, but you're really getting somewhere.
No, I'm not getting discouraged because I see how much better it gets after I keep working.
Right. So. It really does require. Bye, Nina. We'll see. Oh, bye, Nina. We'll see you next time, honey. Great work. Yeah, no, you're killing it. But it is, you can see the stepping up, that stepping up, right? That has to happen. Like, it's funny, like the next step up is to link the drawing and the painting together. And that is when you will be shocked. Janet has just recently really started doing that with her paintbrush. So it takes time because it's hard to like, you know, drawing is hard.
I think I'm about done too, but I just sent you where I was at. I'm
Oh,
not.
Jean, yes, this is a great place to stop. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I think you're going to be really happy with it. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Let's end now. I'm going to do, here, hold on. I'm going to switch my video around the front camera so I can actually see you. You should see this studio. It's a disaster right now. There's just shit everywhere. Yeah, I'm going to try. If I can maybe sit down tomorrow and do something for Gina on the studio, I will. Otherwise, I'm going to send her a painting that I've already done of my studio. So I'll send it to you. I'll get that to you in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will Zoom with Mary Ann tomorrow, so we may be.
Yeah, you guys go ahead and
calling
just send me a WhatsApp. I'm around.
Okay.
And if I need to hop on with you, I'll be happy to hop on.
Okay.
Okay. All right, my sweet. You did great today. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Oh, did Jenna talk to you yet?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
And I mean, I've been dying for a trip to Portland. So
we still have to wait to see if we're actually going to go in person this year. They just closed all the restaurants in Oregon. We're like,
yeah, I mean, you never know. There could be another huge surge.
Right. And here particularly, it's not great. People aren't getting vaccinated fast enough, and it's just not happening the way it should. So, but I've blocked out the time, and it should be as inexpensive as a trip as that can be. I think you guys would have a lot of fun.
Oh, I think it'd be a blast. I'd love to.
Yeah, and I'll take, if you give me a day on either side, I can take you out wining as well, wine visiting. So that's like a really fantastic thing to do around here too.
Yeah.
All right, sweetie, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye.